Hello, my name is Donnie Hayes. I'm a data management application engineer on the Vault team at KETIV. In this video, I'm going to talk about configuring users inside of Autodesk Vault. This video is part of a larger series called Mastering Autodesk Vault and Optimization, where we will show you the entire process from start to finish. If you already have a Vault and are looking to make some quick improvements, we have this great asset for you: 4 tips to maintaining a healthy Autodesk Vault. So I'm going to go over the required fields needed to add a user to Vault, explain the different settings for users, managing users, and lastly, we'll open Vault and add a new user. There are a few required fields that need to be populated for every new user inside of Vault. The first is the display name. The value of this field is used for properties inside of Vault, like created by, checked out by, and approved by, to mention a few. The accounts. This is the method of authentication used by the user for logging into Vault. Roles. The assigned set of permissions assigned to the user. And then vaults. The vault or vaults the user has access to. Now, roles and vaults can be omitted if you are adding the user to a group that already has roles and vaults assigned to that group. When you click on the Accounts button, you'll find 3 account authentication methods available in Vault Professional and 2 in Vault Basic. The first 2 options are available in Vault Basic. The first is Autodesk ID. This requires the admin to enter the user's email address registered to that user's Autodesk account. The Vault account is a local account inside of Vault. The Vault admin will assign the user a username and password for the user to log in to Vault. Windows Authentication allows the Vault admin to import the user's credentials from the company's Active Directory domain. At least one authentication method must be set up. However, you can set up more than one method. When clicking on the Roles button, a list of available roles will be opened that you can assign to the user. Without a role, the user will not be able to log into Vault. They need to be assigned a role or multiple roles. These roles assign the user permissions that determine what the user can do inside of the Vault. Each role is defined by a set of permissions. When a user is assigned multiple roles, the user's permissions become a union of all the permissions assigned to that user. The roles shown in this image are the configured roles shipped with Vault Professional. Vault admins can create custom roles with a custom set of permissions. One thing to note about roles: if one or more roles are removed or added to the user after the user has been configured, those permission changes will not take effect until the user logs out of Vault and then logs back in. Clicking on the Vaults button will open a list of available vaults the user can be granted access to. All users need to be granted access to one or more vaults. There are several other fields that can be filled out for the user, but they're not required. Email alias is used to store the user's email address. For users with Windows Authentication selected in the Accounts field, the Active Directory email address is imported into this field. First name is the user's first name. Last name is the user's last name. You can add the user to a group by clicking on the Groups button to assign the user to one or more groups. And users can be enabled or disabled. When a user is disabled, that user no longer has access to log into Vault. Users cannot be deleted, only disabled. When you're managing the list of users you have inside of Vault, if you only want to see the list of enabled users, you want to click on the View tab and ensure that checked show enabled only is checked. This will remove the disabled users from the list. The users are not deleted, just no longer shown in the list. User information and configuration can also be updated if needed. For example, if a user's last name changes, you can update the user's display name and last name fields to reflect the new last name. So let's jump into Vault Professional and add a new user. All right, so we're inside of Vault, logged in as an admin. So to add a user, we're going to go to Tools, Administration, and Global Settings. And we're going to click the Manage Access button. Here you'll see the list of users set up inside of our Vault. And so to add a new user, we're going to click New. And we will add a new user, Patty from production. And we're only going to fill out what's necessary. So we need to add an account type. We're going to add a Vault account. And that's going to pull in the display name that can be changed if you want to add a dot or just Patty or whatever you feel like. Here's where you will assign a password for that user that you will then share with the user so that they can log in. We will assign them a role and say OK. And we will assign them to a vault. And it's really that simple. And ensure that user is enabled. You'll see they've been added to the list. To understand the roles that you're assigning, you can click on the roles button in that same menu and get a list of all of the roles within Vault. They give you a little description of what each role does, but if you want to know the specific permissions assigned to that role, you can double click on the permission or on the role and get a list of the permissions. The permissions underneath selected permissions on the right hand side are the permissions that role has been assigned. Okay. And here's where you would add a new role by clicking the new role. You'd give it a name, a description, and then add any specific permissions you would like to give to that new role. And those new roles can then be assigned to your users. And that's how you add users and manage your users inside of Vault. If you ever find yourself struggling with Vault issues, we can help.